be obscurantive or to be gymnosophist in my communication. There has been no deliberate attempt at all to obfuscate or envelop my audience in a state of oga-moga. No. Far from me. Like I've always said, it's just that by the grace of God and by the grace of the great grand architect of the universe, I put my nose to the grindstone, and I'm sort of an omnivorous reader. I read practically everything that come across my way. I'm sure you can see here now the mystical life of Jesus. This may be outside the purview of an ordinary lawmaker or a lawyer. And if you are a polyvalent and an elliptical reader, chances are that you are bound to come across one or two idiots. And if you make it as your pastime to be able to know every new word you come across, what they stand for, they are part and parcel of you. And when you speak, at times they come like the rattle of a gun, and that goes beyond my control, you know. But to say that I, as Honorable Patrick Obayagbo, have deliberately set out to mystify my audience is far from it, and it's an opportunity again for me to use the platform of Sahara Reporters, a latitudinarian platform, to render an unreserved apologia to my audience if at any point in time, they find it a little bit difficult to comprehend what I am saying. I want to apologize that that is not intentional at all. Excepting you are saying that I should be deaf and dumb. Excepting you are saying that I should not speak. So an apology again. I can't stop reading.
And even having said that, but when we look at even your contribution at the floor of the House, you've been you've been quite hard when it comes to issues of the state of the nation. I remember one of your contributions during the disappearance of the former president, late Musa Yar'Adua. Being a member of the PDP, how did you feel at that point in time, going contrary to the general feeling of members of the political party to take an opposing view?
No. You see, as a parliamentarian, you have more than one or two or three constituencies. You have loyalty to your party, you have loyalty to the nation, and you have your loyalty to your conscience. And for me, I have never found myself in any quandary as to the fact that when there is a mishmash, when there is an interpose between loyalty to your party or loyalty to your nation or loyalty to your conscience, you must tilt the scale in favor of the nation. You must tilt the scale in favor of your conscience. So for me, even when the entire National Assembly at that point in time, both the House of Reps and the Senate, took a position that it was not the business of the National Assembly to call on late President Yar'Adua to transmit a letter to the National Assembly, my conscience wriggled. And I thought that we were just being political hallelujah boys. So at my expense, I called a World Press Conference saying, no. True, yes, the provisions of the Constitution made it discretionary. But the National Assembly could call on the President to exercise that discretion in favor of public safety, in favor of the stability of democracy. And once I heard that view, irrespective of the fact that it ran against the grain of the leadership of the National Assembly, irrespective of the fact that it ran against the grain of my political party, I became an happy man. And for me, my happiness is what matters to me. And that was why, again, when we were told that a presidential jet flew in the late president into the country without the imprimatur of the then acting president. I came again on the floor of Parliament to say, no. I see this as a veritable bugaboo, which must be poo-pooed by all composed mentis homo sapiens.
And was that why you crossed to the Action Congress of Nigeria? Because I'm made to aware you've left the PDP for the ACN.
Yes, I am a member now of the Action Congress of Nigeria, Edo State. That itself has generated a life controversy of its own. But the way I look at this matter is that I take Sukkot in Plato. Plato said that at all point in time in any democracy, the people and only the people must remain the philosopher kings. And I found myself in Edo State, where a preponderant number of my constituents had devastated from the People's Democratic Party to the Action Congress of Nigeria for no reason other than the fact that the comrade governor himself, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, has given meaning to governance. Edo State, that was in a state of economic quagmire, political phantasmagoria, and social stupor, was gradually and is being gradually transmogrified into a state of infrastructural Eldorado. So you see a dominant number of my constituents adjusting to the Action Congress of Nigeria. And I can't stay here. I can't stay here, Kayode, to begin to admire the bridges in Abuja and pretend not to see the yearnings, not to listen to the yearnings and aspirations.
What if your opponents call it political opportunism? That, well, you say Oshiomhole and the Action Congress being the party of the day, you left the ideology of the PDP to the ideology of the ACN. What do you have in common with the Action Congress in terms of policy?
What is the ideological difference? What is the ideological difference between the PDP and the ACN? What is the ideological difference between the PDP, ACN, and other political parties? If there is any ideological difference at all, it's one of a twiddly-dum and twiddly-dee. No basic ideological difference. It's all elitists, a band of elitists gathering together, for the sole purpose of acquiring political power, to see how that political power could be deployed either in service of the nation or in service of self. So if the ACN political platform, for me, is the platform that has become the bedrock upon which the economic status, interesting developments, unfortunately and sardonically and lugubriously so, we do not seem to have a very efficacious and potent political armada in form of an opposition political party in Nigeria just now. Otherwise, this was the opportune time for Nigerians to have an alternative government to the People's Democratic Party. Because I foresee a lot of implosions flowing herefrom. And in any case, Kayode, that 50 years of Nigeria's independence, we are still apotheosizing the Fawcett Origo of a presidential aspirant. That is to say, where a presidential aspirant comes from, and not his merits, not what I can do, not his political pronunciamento, shows that there is something wrong with Nigeria's federalism. Shows that we need to renegotiate the character of the Nigerian state. What is zoning, after all? To me, I am less perturbed whether a South South man becomes president or a man from Sokoto becomes president. Because, after all, there is one common denominator. The common denominator is that it is a government of the elites, by the elites, and for the elites. The Northerners have ruled the country for over 30 years. What have they used their 30 years of rulership? Have they used their 30 years of rulership to transform Aminu Kano's Talakawas? Have they used their 30 years to transform the modus vivendi of the ragtag and the bobtail in the northern political and economic and social battlesphere? When President Obasanjo from the Southwest was President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to what extent did that enhance the welfare of the hoi polloi in the Oduduwa Republic? So zoning is a contrivance by the elitist political class to have access to power, to continue the pillaging and plundering of oil for their own egocentric benefit, to continue to masturbate themselves in the corridors of power. If a man from Latang State becomes president of the country, does not affect the economic fortunes either way of a man from Latang State. Poverty is poverty, whether in the north or in the south. Dilapidated state of infrastructure exists whether in the north or in the south. Bad healthcare delivery system exists whether in the north or in the south. So for me, zoning is all a contrivance. It's all a contrivance by the Nigerian elites. And unfortunately, we seem to be falling into this trap. And we want to rely and ask of very sensitive, very dialectical, very clinical and soul-searching platforms, such as Sahara Reporters, to continue to unveil these masquerades. It doesn't serve the interests of our people, other than it serves the interests of the elites. It shows that Nigeria is still falling and sunk deep into the aqua of what Papa Jeremiah, chief of Bafemi Awolowo, the Kenyan philosopher, said when he described Nigeria as a mere geographical expression. 50 years after independence, we're still talking about zoning. Is reflective of the fact that Nigeria still wallows in a state of Mengistu statism, cankerous tribalism, ethnocentric chauvinism, syphilitic parochialism, epileptic nepotism, catalyptic parakmoism, and state brigandage of the bluest dye.
Honorable Patrick Obayemo, I hope I'll be able to get that surname well, properly pronounced when I visit Edo. Thank you very much on the platform on Sahara Reporters.